Hello and welcome to part 11 of Project Dracunalysис. So here is chapter 11. We've still got Lucy ill, and as we have a look through, we have Lucy's diary to begin with, and we've got some more dramatic irony because we know about these flowers. We know that the garlic flowers, the idea of protecting her against Dracula that Van Helsing set up in his wisdom, and obviously she's not being able to sleep because she's getting vampirized. And then this is a nice kind of exophoric reference here. We've got a mention of Ophelia, who is in Hamlet, and she has a tragic death. She's a young lady who has a tragic death herself. So this also works as foreshadowing of what's going to happen to Lucy as well. And there is an unfortunate moment here where the Professor, Van Helsing, is very excited because he thinks his treatment's working for Lucy. But, unfortunately, Lucy's mum has removed them. There are a lot of these horrible, strong-smelling flowers about everywhere, and she had actually a bunch of them around her neck. I fear that the heavy odour would be too much for the dear child in her weak state. Wah, wah, wah. So the mother's removed them, so lowering, and also, even worse, opened the window. So this is why Van Helsing's reaction is he had been able to retain his self-command while the poor lady was present. But he actually turns, before that he turns ashen grey. So he knows that's bad news. This poor mother, all unknowing and all for the best as she think, does such thing as lose her daughter body and soul. And we must not tell her, we must not even warn her, or she die, or then both die. So Van Helsing doesn't want to alarm the mother that she's effectively condemned her daughter to death. What a silly Mrs. Westenra. Then there's going to be more blood transfusion because obviously she'd have lost more blood overnight. It is, Lucy's diary again, sorry. And then we have, and I thought here's a little bit of more dramatic irony as well, because I did not fear to go to sleep again, although the boughs, as in like the branches of the tree, or bats or something, napped almost angrily against the window panes. So more vampiric action there. And then we've got Bram Stoker adopting a different mode, which is newspaper. So we have another newspaper article here. This one, I don't think this is Mina, this one. I don't think so. I can't see any reason why it would be. I mean, it could actually. I don't know. See what you think. Perilous Adventurer interviewer. Basically, this is quite weird, this bit, because it's an interview with a zookeeper because there's been an escaped wolf. And actually just describes really an encounter with Dracula. But I'm not really sure why important it is, really. I think maybe Dracula's released wolves to help cover what he's doing. Maybe. And always been hunting with wolves. He likes wolves. Because he likes spooky. He has an affinity for spooky animals. But anyway, you've got a lot. I highlighted this bit here because you've got a lot of a sense of dialect created. It's meant to be. It's a bit exaggerated, really, but it's meant to be suggesting like working class, like London kind of Cockney accent. It's meant to be accent and dialect. So there's some good little bits here, and there's double negatives and things, but it's probably a bit exaggerated. But even here, like the name Berserker, it's been a Berserker. It's been a Berserker, but I'm not sure how it's Berserker. It doesn't. It's meant to be Berserker, but Bram Stoker's using what's called I dialect. That is a really weird term. It's EYE and then hyphen dialect, I dialect, which means writing a dialect down, not necessarily authentically accurately of how that dialect would really be said using linguistic symbology, but just writing it so it looks to the eye, so the reader reads it and it gives an approximation of what it sounds like. That's quite a long-winded, convoluted definition there. But he talks about this wolf, but we do have a visit from Dracula at the zoo. Dracula's taking us to the zoo tomorrow. I will stop. But look, there wasn't much people about that day, and close at hand was only one man, a tall, thin chap with a hooks and a pointed beard and a few white hairs running through it. A bit specific there without the hairs. He had a hard, cold look and red eyes, and I took a sort of mislike to him, for it seemed as if it was him they was irritated at. So all the wolves are getting agitated. He had white kid gloves on. So this is Dracula visiting the zoo. And maybe it's useless. I did not like the airs he give himself. He didn't get angry as I hoped he would, but he smiled as like an intimate smile with a mouthful of white, sharp teeth. So it's definitely Dracula. And he demonstrates his affinity for the wolf because he says, I've lost it. Oh, here it goes. Well, I didn't highlight this. Sorry, that's why I couldn't see it. It was an odd thing, but when the animals see us talking, they lay down. And when I went over to Berserker, he let me stroke his ears, same as ever. That there man came over and blessed, but if he didn't put in his hand and stroke the old wolf's ears too. So he's expressing surprise that this stranger, you can just come up to and stroke the wolf and no problem, like the zookeeper. And you have this strange dialogue where, the zookeeper thinks that Dracula, he doesn't know he's called Dracula, but he thinks he's maybe a dealer in wolves or anything, and then he says, no, says he, not exactly in the business, but I have had pets of several. And then there's another reference to one of our gardeners was coming home, and that time from our harmony when he sees a big grey dog coming out through the guarding edges. Now that's either the escape wolf or that's Dracula wolf form himself. So the wolf escapes as well. So I don't know. This is my theory is Dracula's going hunting with the wolf. That seems to be the thing, or he's released the wolf to hide what he's doing, and then people can blame the wolf for any trouble that he's causing himself. I don't know. That's my best guess. Then, Berserker comes back. There's not too much story in this bit, that's why I'm kind of skipping over it a little bit. It's quite fun. And the wolf comes back, and that's the end of the actual arc. And it's going to just becomes this little... That's the goes back to Dr. Seward's diary. A bit weird, really. But fun. And Seward talks about Renfield gets agitated again as well. Without an instant's pause, he made straight at me. He had a dinner knife in his hand. As I saw he was dangerous, I tried to keep the table between us. I got him my right. That means a right hook. So he punches him. Dr. Seward punches him and knocks Renfield to the floor. He was easily secured, and to my surprise, went with the attendants quite placidly, simply repeating over and over again, "The blood is alive. The blood is the life." He cut Dr. Seward there as well, and obviously Renfield is kind of got this vampire fixation as well, and the blood is the life. The blood is the life is another deliberate corruption of Christian ideas as well. And he's worried about losing. Dr. Seward's worried about losing blood because of donating to Lucy. Van Helsing sends a telegram to Seward Carfax, but because Van Helsing's a foreigner, what a silly Billy, he didn't put the county on, so the telegram went to the wrong Carfax. It went to Carfax in Sussex, and so then the telegram was actually late by 22 hours. So he's meant to have gone the night before, but Van Helsing didn't address it properly. Makes me think, always use the postcode. Anyway, there's dramatic irony again. There's been a lot in this in recent chapters. There's some horrible doom hanging over us that every possible accident should thwart us in all we try to do. I shall take this cylinder with me, and then I can complete my entry on Lucy's phonograph. So we have more reference to the flapping at the window, which is Dracula appearing again. And I went to the window and looked out, could see nothing except a big bat, which had evidently been buffeting its wings against the window. Who could that be? Then we have, this is an interesting section where Dracula actually attacks as a wolf in his wolf form. The window blind blew back with a wind that rushed in the aperture of the broken panes there was the head of a great gaunt grey wolf. As Lucy's mother kind of, in the struggle basically, the flowers that are around Lucy's neck fall away. So of course this is danger zone time, basically. I tried to stir, but there was some spell upon me, my dear mother's poor body, which seemed to grow cold already, for her dear heart had ceased to beat, weighed me down. I remembered no more for a while. So she's attacked by Dracula in his wolf form. There's a nightingale here, which of course is a bird that's famous for singing at night time. And normally they've got positive connotations, but they can represent darker things and the supernatural, and there's an element of that definitely coming through here on that. And then on the final page of this chapter we have, this is the decanter of sherry was on the table half full. There's a queer acrid smell about. I was suspicious and examined the decanter. It smelt of laudanum, and looking on the sideboard I found that the bottle which mother's doctor used of her did use was empty. So basically they've all been drugged there as well. All the maids have been drugged as well. Alone with the dead, I dare not go out, for I can hear the low howl of the wolf through the broken window. Ow! Hopefully I haven't spooked you too much there. Goodbye, dear Arthur, if I should not survive this night. God keep you, dear, and God help me. So we end the chapter with Lucy once more in peril, in dire peril. Anyway, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, share, notification bell, and have a good day, whatever you are doing. Goodbye.